Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture, and today we're going over the pop original series called Schitt's Creek. So I got into Schitt's Creek back in when it first got released on Netflix, the very first season, and it was very new and it didn't have the hype yet or anything. So I started watching it. I immediately got hooked, finished the first season, and then just started waiting for the next season and finishing that one, waiting for the next season and finishing that one. And pretty much loved every bit of it. If you don't know Schitt's Creek, the plot is pretty simple. Like, it's about this rich video store owner who name is Johnny Rose, and his family, like, they all of a sudden just find themselves broke and have to relocate to a different place called Schitt's Creek and live there. It's pretty much what one of the things it says is like a armpit of a town that they once bought as a joke. So they live in this town that's it's just run down. It's more royal than anything else. Like, has a kooky mayor who's played by what's his name? Who's played by Chris Elliott. If you remember him, is from like Groundhog Day. I remember him from movies or Scary Movie 2. He's one with the weird hand. He plays the mayor, and they pretty much had to like kind of find a way to live inside this town at this hotel that they live in. It's just like a very rundown hotel too. So, but over time, we start to starts to appreciate the place over time, and adventures happen throughout the times like that, and it's very, very funny, and it also has a lot of heartwarming moments. It was created, so this show was created by Dan Levy and Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy, you should know from pretty much all of Christopher Guest's movies, like Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show and all that stuff like that. Mighty Winds, and also, if not that, then definitely American Pie. And Dan Levy is a newcomer. Is his son, who's a newcomer in this whole kind of thing. So they created this, and it's been a great ride. So pretty much I liked everything. I pretty much loved every bit of it. I love I love Moira, who's played by Catherine O'Hara, who's also part of the Christopher Guest alumni. She plays Moira Rose, and she just kills it. She's an automatic favorite for a lot of people, including me, and I think she's really great. And then they have Dan Levy's playing the son, who's David Rose, who's pansexual, and he has an attitude, and he's very into, like, he's clinging on to the life of the rich that he had before, but he kind of slowly gets kind of his own type of path. And then we have Alexis Rose, who's played by Annie Murphy. She is the sister, and she is personally my favorite character. I fucking love her. I think she's so funny. I think she's so like she's ideal, kind of like rich girl, but also like kind of valley girl kind of thing. I think she kind of lean into, and it's really, really nice. And then they also have the motel runner slash becomes the owner is Stevie Budd, who's pretty much just, she's very sarcastic. She kind of becomes like the common sense between all of them, because she was born in Schitt's Creek, and she's raised in Schitt's Creek, so she knows exactly. She kind of is way more humble than they are, so she kind of say, we don't have a spa inside this hotel or motel. We don't really have any of these kind of things that you're looking for, kind of thing. But they, over time, start to kind of like, she starts to make friends with David, and they become a thing. Like, for like a second, they hook up once, and then over time they become really good friends. I like to say one thing is that I personally feel like each season had to do with a different character. Like, if you really think about it, like the first season had to kind of like break down everything, kind of like show you what things are and what's going on. And I feel like Johnny Rose had the first season, and then the second season's Moira, where you tried to get her like fitting and her standing in that situation in this town, where she becomes part of the Jazz Gals, and which is the town's like female choir, and she runs for council, and she gets on council. She kind of just starts to put her like kind of stake into the town herself and try to find her footing inside the town. And then I feel like third season is David, where you get David season, where he starts to learn how to find his own fitting. So just so you know, there are going to be some spoilers, not enough to where you would like, oh my god, you spoiled everything, I can never watch it. Like they went through 6 seasons. It's a lot of stuff going on. So I am not even talking about everything. So even if you did see it after this show after this video, you're still gonna be very surprised. You're gonna love it. But pretty much he gets his own thing, like his own footing, which is he starts going on a date with this guy, and then finds out that guy was also interested in Stevie. So they like think about doing like a threesome kind of relationship and polyamorous relationship, and it doesn't go well. It lasts like maybe a day, and then he starts to figure out like, oh, I want to have my own type of success. So he gets his own hotel, or he gets his own apothecary store, and it's really, really nice. It's really fun. And even after that, he starts kind of meeting this guy named Patrick, who is played by Noah Reid. He's been in a couple of things that I haven't seen, but I definitely want to see one of them, which is Backpackers. It sounds kind of silly and fun. And Strange Days at the Blake Hosley High. So pretty much he comes into the picture. They spark a kind of relationship in some way, and every time it gets better and better and better and better. And Patrick knows how to sing, so even that becomes a thing. It's really, really nice. And he gets his footing, and then next season is Alexis, and she gets her complete footing as a event planner. She even starts to help Moira with her as an agent to her, and she really gets her footing. And she also she gets more dates than David does, like a little more stable dates than David does. She gets I didn't write down his name. Okay, she gets the first guy, which is I forgot his name, but he pretty much is like he's Roland Schitt's like first let me back up. Roland Schitt's son, who lives in a barn, who she gets involved with, but they find out it's more sexual than anything else, so they break up. And then over time, she starts to kind of meet this guy named Ted, who's really, really sweet. He's a vegetarian. He's a very nice guy, and who's also played by Dustin Milligan, who's from Extract, A Simple Favor, and my personal original part that I got into him is Supernatural. So they kind of have a relationship in the beginning, but then he wants to marry her immediately. She says no. They break up, and then he comes back super, super hot, and they get back together again. And to the point where they almost pretty much it's close to getting like pretty much married, like very close, like fiance, to the point where they start like they break up over the fact that like their jobs and their dreams are completely taking them in 2 different areas. So they decide to break up so follow their own dreams and everything. So it is very sad, and it's a very sad moment, but it was very pretty too. It was a very beautiful moment too. So like she gets her fitting, and then it kind of wraps around to everybody else. Oh no, actually the 5th season I feel like is about Stevie, because then she gets her fitting when she takes her footing with like taking ownership of the motel and partnering with Johnny to build this motel into something bigger, to have people come over, and there's like tons of people that end up coming through over time. So yeah, it's a really, really nice show. And you have little like side characters like Jocelyn Schitt, who's the daughter, who's the mother. God, I'm completely off. Sorry if this video's like all over the place. But she's the wife of Roland Schitt, and she's just hilarious. She's adorable. And then you have Twyla Sands, who owns a cafe-ish restaurant, the only one in this town. And she's super adorable. She's actually played by Sarah Levy, who's the daughter of Eugene, sister of Dan. And pretty much she's one of my other favorites. I think she's just adorable. And also shout out to Rizwan Menji, who plays Ray Butani. This guy, you remember him, he's in a lot of things. He's kind of pops in a lot of stuff. Like he's been in Charlie Wilson's War, and he was on The Magicians for a while. But he pretty much plays the realtor that does like almost every single thing, everything that you're looking for that has to do with the town. He does it. So yeah, so it's a really good show. One thing I want to point out is that it has a thing where it doesn't. A lot of shows right now you have to have a shock value. You have to have something that's a twist and throw you completely off. But I think that I like about the show, and I think maybe one of the many things that it's popular for, is that it doesn't do that. It doesn't need that. It pretty much gives you the heartwarming moments, like naturally. You know what I mean? Like it says, like when like somebody ends up coming around to, like, for example, there's a Christmas episode where Johnny's like, oh, there's no Christmas. We're trying to have Christmas in Schitt Creek, but we can't really do it. And at the very end, everybody gets together and throws him a Christmas party, and it's really heartwarming. But it's just like it's direct heartwarming. It's not like, oh, tricked you and move over here. It's really this. Like they have no issue giving you a direct story that doesn't have any twists, or there's no undertone in anything. Like it's just it, you know. Especially with the pansexual direction. Like it was just when David talks about it, he just says, like, he uses wine as a direction. Like, I like red wine. I also like white wine. Sometimes I like a rosé. Sometimes I like a Chardonnay that was a this, you know. Like, it explains for like 5 minutes or less than that, maybe even 2 minutes. And then you move on to the next thing. Like, it's not a big deal. And I think that's kind of cool about the show, is that they don't make anything a huge deal, but they also make sure you see it, you know. My only critique I have is Patrick. I think that he just didn't really. I feel like he added stuff to the story, but he didn't add enough to where we knew about him. Like for a minute, like he comes and he's never been like outly gay or anything, so he gets involved with David, and over time they kind of like have a relationship, but it's like I've been around, like I've dated guys that like just came out, or guys like in that direction. It's just like there's a lot of stuff that if you're the gay that's been out for longer than the other person, like the new one wants to experience like all these stuff and like get into all these stuff like that. And there's a lot of stereotypes from the heteronormative world that needs to be broken down, and you don't really see that happen inside with Patrick, nor do you really see any struggles to kind of being who he is. I don't know, like it doesn't feel very realistic in that direction. And also I felt like he kind of just moved the story along. We didn't know much about him other than the fact that he had a fiance that was very resolved within that first episode. Or within that episode of talking about it, and I know over time that like the rest of it's him trying to like with David trying to forgive him over that, but it's like 2 episodes of that. But it's pretty much like I don't feel like I knew anything about him, nothing about him. I knew everything about everybody. Even Ted, I feel like had way more flaws and ups and downs like that than Patrick did. I feel like. So I think that's the only thing I can critique, is that I feel like we focus so deeply on Dave and Patrick's relationship that it didn't feel authentic. It felt cute. It was cute. And I see all these gays like loving, like I want my ideal like relationship to be that, but it's just like, I miss it. I kind of miss that part because I was just like, I don't understand what we're looking for. Ideally, yeah, for a guy to automatically accept you for who you are and not have any like baggage with them. That's like one fiance and that's it. Like, this sounds very like very cynical way to think about it, but it's just the way that the world, like, I feel like it just didn't feel like they even if they don't go that direction, they should have added a little more to his character to develop him a little more, so it did feel more heartwarming when they did get married, because I felt like in the very end they get married. So, but I felt like it just it didn't feel like, I feel like they did a lot of storyline with Alexis and Ted's story more than they did with David and Patrick's. But all in all, I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a great, well-written series. I thought it was easily bingeable and super, super funny. And they made jokes that you don't even, like, the jokes just come out of nowhere. You don't even know what's coming. You think you're ready for what's going to happen, and it just side jokes that just get thrown to the side like it's nothing, but you're like, whoa, let's rewind. That was so funny, kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I give this I don't think I remember what I'm rating. I give this a 4 out of 5. I think it's a really, really good show. I think it's worth it to be watched, and I'm definitely going to rewatch some of the parts because there's some things I didn't get. But anyway, leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts. And tell me who's your favorite character in Schitt's Creek. Like, I would love to know that. And also, what are your favorite moments in Schitt's Creek? So yeah, leave a comment below about that. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, hit the notification button too, so you can get more of my videos and everything, and you can stay updated and all that stuff. And I'll see you all in the next video.